Good morning, class, and welcome to the Lost Begotten's lesson on basic things you need to know about reality so you don't fucking die. Oh, man. So, I want to talk today about something called divide and conquer. Perhaps you've heard of it. I would think that most people having heard of it would be able to recognize it as a pattern. You know, when it becomes a very obvious pattern. Like, how long could somebody paint checkerboards in a room? Checkers. Before you realized they were painting checkers in the room. Black square, white square. Black square, white square. Are you still like, I wonder if he's gonna paint a circle? No, you know he's gonna paint a fucking checkerboard. So, let's go through a little list that I can just come up with off the top of my head. Um, okay, so countries that either have far right political movements that are likely funded by the Kremlin right now, or separatist movements that either completely destabilize the country government in a way that reduces American international unity, or directly, or said separatist movement directly opposes American or, for instance, European unity. Because all of these things would benefit the Kremlin. All right. So you have Spain. There's a little couple regions wanting to go separate in Spain. You have France. Obviously, you have Scotland. You have Britain. Well, Scotland wants to leave Britain. Britain wants to leave the EU. All of this, as you know, all this happening, just bubbling up right as Russia's invading Ukraine. Um, you got Greece, just a fucking mess in Greece. That definitely just counts as instability, even though it doesn't exactly fall into one. It's kind of like they've already taken over, but everything's intentionally being kept a mess so that nobody knows what the fuck's going on in Turkey, basically. Um, and you know, between there, yeah, I think all the people who need to know what I'm talking about already know what I'm talking about, so I'm gonna move on. Um, let's see, you have Myanmar, Bangladesh, you have Rohingya problems in China versus Pakistan, China versus India, India versus Pakistan problems, all being like the Chinese militaries in countries it doesn't belong and shit. Just, oh, we're just exploring, kind of like. Um, Africa. Do I even need to go into that? Um, Boko Haram just says it all, doesn't it? There's basically political upheaval in most parts of Africa right now, even parts that were making progress. Um, and you got the Philippines just being all kinds of interesting. Um, Vietnam has had more of a pro nationalist kind of weird political overturn. Thailand, um, been big scandal with them. Kind of similar to what's been going on in South Korea. South Korea, obvious divide and conquer strategy that was successful. Let's see if we still, whoever winds up in power there still lets us have the ability to protect them. Huh. And then, of course, you got the fascist right wing dictator installed in a rather large country, making it one of the first satellite states of the new Soviet Union or Eurasian Union. America, what's left of it. Ah, when you're a satellite. Damn. So, you have several different areas in South America which are experiencing upheaval and could be bleeding over into Belize very soon, which has been for many years now in a comprehensive effort to attract American investors. Yeah. So let's hope that all goes well. And well, damn. Is that enough off the top of my head to make you want to go look up a real list? Because what it amounts to, I'm scratching my head trying to see if there's any more countries I can think of. What it amounts to is a comprehensive divide and conquer strategy. Wouldn't you say? All these things happening now. I mean, it's not like it's the Arab Spring or oh wait, Arab Spring. It's a bunch of different ones that all count too. But there's no media slang word for it that makes it seem just another fucking thing that we're gonna have a history test for in 20 years. Fuck it, our kids will have to learn it. No, shit's getting real. And it's all happening in a confusing way that keeps it under the radar unless you realize. Checkerboard. Alright, square, square, square. Fucking square. White square, maybe? Black square, maybe. But they're all fucking squares, and they're making a checkerboard. And you know what happens when you don't realize that people are painting the floor, that when you're not paying attention and the floor is being painted around you, or you're painting the floor, whatever. You end up painting yourself into a corner, don't you? Because while we debate and deny whether or not the crazy Jesus guy on YouTube is right, we're being surrounded and hollowed out from within at the same time. And whatever point shit needs to get to when faced with a divide and conquer strategy, before we say come up with a comprehensive counter divide and conquer strategy, um, like how bad does it need to get? How bad does it need to get before we do that? No, let's fuck up everybody's health care. No, let's kick a bunch of immigrants out. Let's have hearings about Obama wiretapping. And the one ball from the one sport that could actually save our country, let's just kick it down the road until it deflates itself. That's some bullshit. And you got to realize that's what they're fucking doing right now. That's what they have been doing. And the people who are saving this country right now are being labeled as liberals. We're just whiny liberals. Do I look like a fucking liberal to you? That was a little cheesy, but yeah. It's fucking irritating, is what it is. People who've been, working for the CIA, Naval Intelligence, National Security Agency, been risking their lives trying to stop a fucking imperial state from re-expanding and wreaking havoc across the globe the way it used to. We're all just whiny liberals. No. Afraid not. And all I can say to those people is when they start describing bad people in the Bible and then they say all these horrible things are going to happen to them, and you start meeting that description, perhaps it's time to repent and open your eyes. Or perhaps even discard the eyes you have and see with new ones. Divide and conquer. Comprehensive strategy. Set against who? Set against Western civilization. Set against rule of law. Set against justice. Set against anything but the mafia mentality. But the power for power's sake. Rule with an iron fist mentality. When freedom really is just another word for nothing left to lose. And I've been warning that it's coming. They're coming. Coming here. Gonna take over. Gonna fuck us all up. Don't even need to land troops. Oh, but they damn well could, couldn't they? If we don't nip this in the bud, we don't take our country back from corrupt politicians, namely Republicans, and stop letting bullshitters bullshit the bullshitted, because that's the problem. We cannot unify as a country as long as hateful, anti-American, anti-Western, anti-civilization lies are allowed to spread for their entertainment value. Sean Hannity, Alex Jones, fucking David Icke, fucking all these fucking people that have been poured into our brains for 10 fucking years plus now. Most of them belong in jail. And the rest of them need to listen to some Britney Spears for a while. No. They need to be confronted on their bullshit. We need to organizedly inform people who actually want to be Americans, who actually want to follow the mandate of this country, and not the mandate of some politician that he's only fucking imagining. And we need to educate people that there has been a 3-generation plan set against not only us, but in so many places in the world that it's fucking hard to keep track of. And that everyone involved in this plot is not to blame, because the plan itself was subjugation indirectly through ideological conversion. Okay? So once they have you thinking what they want you to be thinking, you're already doing what they want you to be doing. Helping destroy the church, helping destroy a corporation, helping destroy an institution, helping take down the government of the United States. You know, for instance. You know, like installing a fucking crazy old Mongolian Hun motherfucker with orange skin that just happens to love our enemy and clean out our Defense Department. I mean, State Department. Complete lack of comprehension of what American power is about. As very often portrayed by conspiracy channels like Alex Jones. He's got the world painted for him in fucking crazy person glasses. And, you know, whether he knows it or not, he is a willful accomplice. Donald Trump should have registered as a foreign agent. He has financial ties and has been lobbying on the behalf of Russia. Quid pro quo. This has been a completely false, stolen, hijacked invasion instead of an election. And the only reason why you might hate Hillary Clinton is because Putin does. And all the people in the Republican Congress that have financial ties to Russia, those are the ones who wanted to have Hillary Clinton on trial for years at a time. Meanwhile, while we're calling Hillary Clinton back for fucking hearings, not only is Russia furthering its advance in Ukraine that very fucking day. But during 11 hours of Hillary Clinton's testimony, they didn't bring up Russia one time. Why? Because they know she cannot divulge. Listen to this, okay? This is legal, actual fucking way shit goes in our government. Legally, according to the ethics and standards set by the Department of the State by the State Department of the United States of America. All right, let me sound all official while I'm talking about it. A former Secretary of State cannot discuss anything related to current negotiations, current secret treaties, current fucking anything like that. Okay? So, for instance, the Secretary of State, unless they're asked specifically about it. Unless they're asked specifically about it. Okay? And then they can even defer it to a private answer, okay, in writing or whatever, and not give it publicly. But no question was given. And, you know, for instance, if she wasn't asked about, you know, why were we disrupting Libya specifically, why does it have the ability to supply terrorists? Is it manufacturing? Is it anything? And we didn't even discuss, did you have anything to do with this deal with Libya? I mean, you would think if they were really suspicious of Hillary Clinton, okay, and David Pakman people, I hope you happen to be watching this. If they were suspicious of Hillary Clinton, wouldn't they investigate and ask her about her financial ties to Russia? Because if she's like, you know, dropping the ball in on Benghazi, just letting terrorists take over because she's part of some fucking plot. And by the way, that's what these crazy people think, that basically the far left is brainwashed by or complicit with the Muslim invasion. But if she was really being grilled, if they were really suspicious of her, wouldn't they look into the big fucking financial deal that just happened? The big financial deal that just happened with Libya. Especially considering that they've tried over and over again to tie Hillary Clinton to Russia in other arenas, in other conversations. Never have they tried to tie her to Russia when it relates to Benghazi. Never has a Republican who should be informed of such things asked about in one of these hearings, which it should have been their duty, whether or not all this chaos might have been caused by Russian intelligence. Because they had been doing exactly that in many different places. And we knew it was them in many different places. And then this happened. I mean, we learned better after the fact. Okay? Because we continued to see them doing it in Ukraine. Remember, we've had like modern video documentaries of them, you know, big group of protesters, and then a little concerted militia effort. Okay? It's happened over and over again. Comparison wasn't made. The basic, obvious fucking connections just not drawn. because the questioners know that the Secretary of State can't divulge information related to current diplomatic issues and definitely can't provoke a hostile nation in a public hearing without being asked a direct question about it. So they asked no questions about it. Okay? So the one thing that could have cleared this up, the one thing that could have made sense of all this, why did the State Department confuse a protest for a concerted militia attack? They couldn't have done that. They must be lying. Right? Or maybe they were getting information as it was becoming clear. Maybe Russia pulled a fucking fast one. Maybe an Islamic militia that's had, ties to the Soviet Union in the fucking 60s and hasn't even had contact with Vladimir Putin, but saw the way they did shit and did shit like them. More than likely it was directly involving Russia, though. They got us to turn inward against each other. They got us to waste $150 million plus on hearings, not investigating the enemy, but investigating people who shed tears over their friends, people that they knew personally that they lost. And you're going to think it's political grandstanding when Hillary Clinton had a problem with them disrespecting those people? Because why? Some Blackwater guys who didn't tell you they were Blackwater guys at the time, happened to be veterans too. They were veterans before that. Blackwater guys running diplomatic security. Well, they did what Blackwater guys do. Whatever they're fucking paid for. Including this. And that's the only fucking testimony we've relied on. Basically. People that were already not only far right, but working for a shady fucking company. And that's caused divide and conquer to succeed here. Okay? That right there. And what's the missing link? What's the thing that they refuse to bring up that they really should have? But they wouldn't do it because they're in Russia's pocket. And they knew that Hillary Clinton couldn't do it because she literally couldn't do it unless they directly asked her a question. Provoking Russia. They couldn't provoke Russia by pointing out the obvious overarching truth of the situation, which was that our embassy was staying low-key and the CIA was heavily involved with it because Gaddafi went to Moscow, made a deal, said, well, I'll let Rosneft control my oil fields. Rosneft, as in Putin's fucking oil company. And in exchange, I will not only let you build an air base in my country to supply me with weapons, but I'll run cover for you like I've always done. Old buddy, old Soviet pal. Pooty. Gaddafi has always worked with the Soviet Union in this way. Okay, so it's not a matter of, oh, Russia supplies terrorists being a fucking thing. Okay, It's a given. It's known. So then Gaddafi goes to meet with Putin, and this fucking deal happens. Then they're building a base. What does Gaddafi need? Weapons. Weapons. Munitions. What does Russia make? Weapons. Munitions. I mean, I'm trying to think of another Russian product besides like weapons and gas and oil to make a joke about. Like, okay, lard. That's what that lard. That's what it was. Lard. Forgot about lard. So Gaddafi just wanted lard. Overarching historical context. Overarching relevance to why we were there and why things were done in the way that they were done. We could have gotten to the bottom of this, but we didn't. Why? Simply a matter of Republicans against Hillary Clinton before she was even the nominee? Hmm? Or was it the Clinton Foundation's ongoing efforts to promote democratic and Western ideals throughout the world via a good works, you know, building hospitals and schools and shit? Was it Hillary Clinton's, well, not only getting in Putin's way in various other parts of the world, but she happened to be trying to get in Putin's way right there in Libya? Okay? The State Department and the CIA and the Clinton Foundation, all in cahoots in Africa. Vladimir Putin wanted that to end. And who helped him? Chaffetz and Mr. Hairlip. Click the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Peace.